Hey, everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. I'm your host, as always, licensed professional counselor, relationship, and sex specialist, Greg Dudzinski, here with the Art of Relationship show. And as always, doing a live Q&A. Oop, let me adjust the cameras a little bit. Um, doing a live Q&A, talking about relationship devastation to happiness. Okay, a lot of people look at the devastation that relationships and heartbreak can kick in, but this is where I want you to be able to go after and to be able to look at what is happening to your what is going on. Okay, so it looks like Instagram is not going to go live, so always issues with them. But anyways, hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Throw out your questions. Like always, every show, it's a live Q&A. Doesn't have to deal with the subject at hand, okay? It can be related to anything, dating, um, marriage, definitely, relationships, living together, definitely intimacy or sex, okay? So, Big Jobby, hey, what's going on? So, this is where I want you to be able to look at any questions you have related to that. I'll do the best I can, to answer them in the time frame allowed. And again, just for clarity, I want you to be able to look at this does not replace actual psychotherapy, actually counseling, professional counseling that I do in my office. It's different. There's got to be a disclosure statement, so it's different. So just to let you know, it does not replace professional psychotherapy aspects going on. Okay. So I'd love to be able to take your questions and I'll answer them the best I can. So, talking about relationship devastation, people look at betrayals, right? And I did a short video a few days ago, and it pissed a lot of people off. I know that. And looking at holding yourself accountable, are you able to look at your role into maybe why your partner cheated, right? And I got accused of, blaming the victim. Not at all. No, there's no excuses for cheating or not condoning that, right? Excuse me. Not at all. But I want you to be able to look at your role in the situation, right? A lot of people, and I'm a realist, right? I have people, couples in my office. I've worked, over the years, over 2 decades now, where one is not interested in sex at all. And they haven't had intimacy, had sex in, say, 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, years, not months, people. And again, it's not a right or wrong. I don't bash that. Hey, Chris, what's going on? So to be able to look at, and that person doesn't want you to have sex outside the relationship or marriage either, and they're not interested. We could look at, medical issues, complications, absolutely. Relationship dynamics, what is going on? Is there a disconnect in the relationship or marriage to cause that person not to want to have sex with the other one, right? But they don't want the other one to cheat or go outside the relationship for sex, and they want them to stay in the marriage and still be married, even looking at what is going on. What is your favorite brand of beer? Oh God, I don't know. Atwater out of Detroit maybe might be one. It could be as simple as Line and Kugel. It could be Miller, or whatever. I'm not that fancy about that, but if you're asking, that's what it is. So, going back to the topic, a lot of people look at that situation, like I said, they don't want to be intimate with you, which is fine, but they don't want you to have sex outside the relationship and they want you to stay in the marriage. Um, and you're like, is that selfish? So I hold people, accountable and to be able to look at, if you're okay in that situation, again, that's fine. But most of the situation, it's not going to be able to look at those aspects to be able to look at what is happening to you and what is happening in the relationship to cause someone to want to betray you, to cheat on you, and a lot of people will look at, you know, oh, they blame the person that cheated. They need to own that. And I tell people that all the time. There's no condoning it, no excusing it, and cheating is a choice, okay? I want to make that very clear. Oh, and please share the live video. Share it on your timeline, your pages. I want to get as much engagement, as many people as possible, and I want to help as many people out there. That's why I do this, okay? My main thing is definitely to help people out there have a healthy, happy relationship, marriage, whatever works for you, as well as maintaining a sense of self love and self respect. Okay. So a lot of people will look at situations, but they don't want to hold themselves accountable. It's all according to them. And then they're upset and they're ticked at why you cheated. And a lot of people, I get this situation that goes into, well, Greg, G, they could have just left. They could have left the marriage. They could have left the relationship. And a lot of people think that's very easy, but you have kids involved. What about finances, right? And let's see, I'm doing what I need to do, and my partner doesn't want to be intimate with me and wants me to stay in the marriage. And then I leave the marriage, and they're entitled to 50% of the finances. 50% equity in the home. Let's be honest, maybe 401ks, K plans, right? Plus, I have to pay spousal support now, and I have to pay child support now, too. These are realities. These are what people deal with. And you're saying, oh, but you need to leave out of that relationship or leave the marriage first. And it's not that easy, people. Hey, Sarah, I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, please join in the live chat down below, people, and let me know what is going on, and let me know what is happening. What is happening, any questions you have regarding dating, relationships, marriage, sex, intimacy, and I'll do the best I can answer them out there, okay? So these are situations to be able to look at. What are you doing to cause them? Are you being selfish? Are you wanting all the deck to be stacked in your favor? And it's very, very difficult. That's what I say about devastation. I want to know what caused it, what led to it. And let me adjust the camera a little bit for TikTok. There we go. Okay. Sorry, people. To be able to look at these situations, and that's where I want you to be able to look at what are you doing to cause your partner to want to cheat, to betray you? And again, it's not excuse, and I'm not blaming the victim, not at all. As I told people, and I tell them every day, cheating's a choice, right? And you look at what would it take? What am I doing to make my partner miserable where they want to cheat? And we all know there's men and women out there both. They're going to cheat because they just want to. It's an ego trip. That's what they do, right? Most people are not that way. And yes, just as many women cheat as men. So that's a reality. And, statistical evidence substantiate that. A lot of people years ago said it was a differentiation about, 20 to 30%. That is not the case now. Hey, Madeline, appreciate you joining in. Hey, Lisa Ann, I appreciate you tuning in. Or your partner acts one way, but says something different. It's confusing. And that is a great example. As a matter of fact, I was talking about that with a few couples earlier today that I saw, where a lot of people will look at, and I tell people, everybody's heard this, right? You need to go by the actions and behaviors of that person, right? You need to be able to look at what is going on, and is that person, and a lot of people just want to hear the words, I love you, right? I want you, I love you, I desire you. But then there's a situation where their actions contradict that, okay? Right? They're not being intimate with you. They're not being romantic, affectionate. They don't want to spend time with you, but they're telling you they love you. No, you need to go after the behaviors, and you need to go after the actions. And of course, I want the words to back up with what is being said with actions, with behaviors, okay? I love you and want to be with you, but then cheat. Absolutely. And this is one thing I talk about, Lisa, and I, looking at in the video I did earlier in the week that upset a lot of people. And I said, I was honest right up front, this is going to piss a lot of people off. But then you look at, they love you, but maybe they don't feel love from you. They don't feel desired from you, right? They feel like they can't talk to you, but they love you. But then someone chirps in their ear, and, that's where that goes back to, if that answers that question, whatever. Again, it doesn't justify it. But a lot of people would say, I love you and want to be with you, but they don't feel love back from you. It's not reciprocated. It's not, you don't feel desired. You don't want to be close to them. You don't want to spend time with you. They can love you, absolutely, and want to be with you. But then, what are you doing to show them that you want to be with them, that you desire them, that you love them? And you can talk openly about anything without getting defensive, okay? So hit me up. Hit me up with some questions, people, on TikTok, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're paying attention to this. And throw out your questions out there, and I'll be glad to answer them. Like I said, this does not replace actual therapy, professional counseling, therapy in the office setting. Like I said, you need disclosures and everything out there. So not only, from devastation of of cheating, but it could be a devastation that your partner doesn't love you, doesn't want to be with you, doesn't want to have sex or intimacy with you, right? They don't want to spend time with you. It's devastating. And it's, like I said, going from devastation to happiness, you need to be able to look at what's at stake and what is going on there. And are both of you willing to put the effort in? A lot of times what happens is one person might be doing all the work, right? And their partner is not doing anything. They're just blaming their partner, but they're not taking accountability for their actions, okay? What's happening is, well, you do this, you do that. And what your actions are telling you or telling your partner is to be able to look at, you know what, they're not taking accountability. They're using excuses. This is, well, this is what women talk about. This is what men talk about. It needs to be okay. But then you have to look at, is it disrespectful to your partner? Is it disrespectful to the relationship or marriage? That type of situation. Hey, Sonny, what's going on? I appreciate you tuning in. Another question I got, or maybe a statement, okay? I can see where someone might now not feel loved, but it's still on the person to communicate their thoughts and needs to their partner, should turn to you and give you the opportunity to hear and meet their needs. Absolutely. I agree with that, and that's what I promote, okay? So a lot of people might, all of a sudden you find out they cheated or betrayed you somehow. It could be, emotionally talking to somebody else. It might not necessarily be physical cheating. It could be emotional, right? Emotional betrayal. And their partner has no idea that they're not feeling loved. They're not feeling desired. They're not feeling a priority. They're not feeling important. And then they find out they're talking to somebody else, right? And, well, I felt this. You need to be able to give your partner an opportunity to make changes, right? To be able to, first they have to be aware. Are you cluing them in? Hey, I don't feel loved. I don't feel respected. I don't feel desired by you. What can I do to make that happen? So that's where I want you to be able to go after, to understand you're giving your partner an opportunity to make changes, to improve, to enhance, and do their role in their relationship. Hey, Tyler, what's going on? My day's okay, man. Hopefully you're doing okay. I appreciate you tuning in and watching. So looking at, you need to be able to give your partner and clue them in. A lot of people are afraid to tell their partner how they feel because it's going to turn into a tit for tat, an argument, their partner's going to get defensive. Okay. Oh, kind of sad. I'm sorry. Definitely sorry to hear that. Yeah, reach out, DM me, anything I can do. So, excuse me. So, an example would be, I don't feel desired by you, or I don't feel loved by you. And it turns into, well, I don't feel loved by you either. You get me? That tit for tat, that bottle. So, that's where I want people to be able to go after and look at, hey, why don't you feel loved? Why don't you feel desired? What can I do? Okay. So, what can I do to make you feel more loved and respected? That's where I would love people to go after, right? To be able to look at how they can improve. So, as Lisa mentioned, you need to be able to look at, are you cluing your partner in on how you feel before you, again, before you ended up cheating, before you betrayed them, before you started talking to somebody else? I went from a Marine to now a alcoholic farmer. No, I'm very sorry to hear that, and it's not easy. And I know the VA is they offer help, but it might not be all that great. But I don't know if you've reached out to the VA, talking to someone on TikTok to be able to try to get that help. And I know with the trauma of being a Marine, especially if you saw combat, it's horrific. I've worked with quite a few combat vets over the years, and it can be horrific with post traumatic stress and everything else. So I get that. Hey, Roxanne, uh, appreciate you. So throw me out some questions, people. What questions do you have? Maybe you're running through challenges with dating, with your relationship. Maybe you're living together or getting ready to, or you're getting ready to be married and you're wondering, oh, what do we talk about expectations? How are we going to handle finances? What does sex look like when we're married? Who's going to handle those chores, those type of situations before devastation hits? I would love people and couples to have an open, honest conversation, to be able to feel free and saying, hey, I feel like this isn't fair. Excuse me, going through puberty again. My my voice is gone. Please, like I said, if you're on TikTok, any other format, share the video on your timeline, share the video on your page, and anything I can do to help. I want to be able to look at that and to be able to answer any questions of that. Oh, two of my sons are Marines. No, and no, I apologize. And it's a scary time, especially right now. So, yeah, my best wishes to them, big time. And I know it's not easy, especially what's going on in the Middle East. It's scary. And you got a right to miss them. Uh, so hopefully you can reach out to them. And I know communications might be tough depending where they're at. Okay. So those type of betrayals can be healed. Okay. Everybody looks at these situations, but I want you to be able to look at, what am I doing to cause my partner to feel not loved, not desired, not respected, not important, not a priority, okay? And that's where I want you to be able to go after. And those are crucial elements to be able to look at and explore, to have that open, conversation, an open dialogue that you feel safe. Do you have a degree? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have a beyond a graduate degree, beyond a master's degree in professional counseling, and I have a lot more training, postgraduate work as well. In order to do this, to be fully licensed, um, definitely have to have a graduate work, internships, residency. You have to meet state licensing guidelines. Absolutely. So there's a lot of people out there that are, how can I say that? They claim to be life coaches or coaches, and they have no training, minimal training. They're not fully licensed. They don't have to meet any ethical guidelines, and you have to be careful. Okay. Um, so if that answer, yeah, that's a good question. I appreciate that. And there's even people out there, even if they're fully licensed, they might not be that good. They might not be that skilled, and they might not specialize in anything. Like a lot of people might say they might help with anxiety, depression, trauma, family issues, and they list literally 30 things, right? They got a list this long, 30, 40 things that they work with, but they say they specialize in all those 40, 50 things. You can't. That's impossible, okay? So you have to look at whatever you're seeking. You want to make sure they're actually specialized and they don't just quote unquote air quotes, I hate air quotes, but just work with them, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to look at, and what questions are you going after and in your dating, in your relationship, in your marriage, in your sex life, that I can help answer and help you out with. Like I said, my huge passion is to be able to help people out, be able to help you have a happier, healthy relationship on, mind, body, heart, and soul level. Again, nothing's perfect, anybody out there, but to be able to look at and realize, what do I want to improve, and to be able to look at, let's be honest, and what I started with at the beginning of this episode was holding yourself accountable and looking at, what am I doing to be a better partner? What am I doing or stop doing to be a better partner in my relationship, in my marriage, that situation? What could I do to get better, become a better listener, to become a better communicator with my partner? Am I getting defensive? Do I blow up easily? What can I do to become more sensual, more loving? What can I do to become more, what can I say, to become more sexually fulfilling for my partner, right? Let's be honest. Hey, Brandon, I need help. Let me know. What help do you need? Anything I can do to help. And, that's where, people will look at and blame. I've been guilty of this before too. I'm human. To be able to look at, a partner, well, you're doing this, you're not doing that. And all those avenues out there, okay? So that's where I want you to be able to look at and ask, what can I do to be a passionate, to be more of a better partner in those situations, okay? Hey, Khaleesi, what's going on? And I know I get a lot of, let's face it, it's social media out there, and I get a lot of BS, a lot of jokes out there, whatever. But like I said, my passion is trying to help people. I've been doing this professionally for over 21 years now, helping couples in my what do I want to say? Helping couples become more connected emotionally, mentally, and sexually, okay? So that's where I want you to be able to look at what is going on, okay? So, what else is happening? What other questions? Oh, yeah, your partner should want to support your partner, should want you to feel loved. Don't be defensive, and it's opportunity to honor each other. Check in with each other. That's great advice. And, how often have you asked that partner, your person, right? To be able to look at those situations. No, I did see your comment, and I don't know if you're serious about that or if it's actually legit. So I did see your comment. So when you look at those situations, you need to be able to look at, and I want, is it, when you said your sister's attracted to you, is it actually about a stepsister, the other one, or this is a joke, right? And I don't want to get into, BS, spam out there, that type of situation, okay? So, What are you doing? Have you asked your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, when was the last time you asked them, do you feel loved? Do you feel desired? Do you feel respected? Do you feel like you're a priority? And that's where I want people to be able to go after and to be able to ask. Because a lot of people, they'll feel a certain way, but then, right, they're afraid to ask. They don't know. They assume, oh, yeah, I'm doing what I need to do. So you should feel loved. You should feel desired. Maybe they don't. That's where that open communication needs to come in. And it's difficult. I'm honest, right? People have kids, both work, busy, stuff going on, life going on. And that's where it's difficult, but you need to make each other a priority, or what's going to happen, life is going to rip you apart. And that's what I said about devastation, where you end up where, one cheats, or not only, cheating devastation, we can go on, or I can go on, devastation of filing for a divorce, filing, they want a legal separation. They want people to be able to, they're leaving, they're moving out, they're breaking up, and they don't know why. And you said, you're not lying, right? Is it bad to cheat? Yes, it is bad to cheat, and I never condone that. But I look at what causes it, right? And I tell people, what is going on, what causes it. Is it genuine remorse and guilt, and a commitment not to do it again, right? That doesn't mean you do all that, everything's in place, and you remain being, what do I always say, miserable, right? I'll never promote people being miserable in a relationship, not at all. Here we go. I love cheating on my wife. I do it like it's a sport. Then why don't you be single, right? And unless you're okay with an open relationship, you could do that and see if your wife is open, open to an open relationship. Maybe you both can get your needs met, your sexual needs or satisfaction met outside the relationship or marriage, if you both agree and it's consensual, right? And I'm not one, a lot of people, it's okay for men to do this, but it's not okay for women to do it. I'm not in the double standards, but a lot of people are in the double standards. And for a lot of people, you think about devastation, not only if you end up cheating, or like you said, it's like a sport. What happens if you bring home an STI, STD? And there is a difference between STIs and infection. You take meds that can go away in a week, 10 days, where the disease is with you forever. Genital warts, herpes, HIV, you get me? That's with you forever. So not only that, but now you found out, wife, whatever, found out you're cheating, but now you end up coming back with, now, you know what? Oh, I got herpes. Or you give her that. That's despicable, and it's talking about devastating. And how do you heal that? And I've worked with this a lot, okay? And that's where I want people to be able to look at in those situations. Do an assessment, people. Be insightful. Look in the mirror and look at what are you doing to have a happy, healthy relationship out there. And I know I have a lot of pranksters out there on TikTok, and you guys must be bored big time. Definitely bored out there and nothing else better to do. So hit me up as far as what are your actual questions, your serious questions out there that I can help you with. And I know a lot of people are, it's social media, right? They don't want to put their stuff out there. And I'm very respectful. I'm very caring, compassionate. And I can be direct as well. Like I said, I actually do this for a living, have for over 21 years, fully professional, fully licensed, to help people. That's my passion. I want to be able to help that type of situation, right? Bro, you're wasting your time. This the wrong audience. And you might be right, John. I appreciate that. So that's where I want you to be able to look at and to be able to go after and what is needed to help you heal after a devastation. Why would your relationship, why would your marriage end? That's devastation. Do you look at, hey, what can I do so you don't want a divorce? What can I do so you don't want to break up? Right? And then you have to be able to own it and do it. And that doesn't mean every couple is going to be good together. No, they're not. But are you willing to grow? And are you willing to do the work to look at, hey, what can we do to be good together? Right? And that you grow and evolve together. So you can go from devastation to happiness to bliss again. You have to do the work and you have to look at more specifically what you both need to be able to make it in a healthy, happy situation. Okay. Diana, yeah, please hit me up. I hope to be your friend and supporter. Let's become TikTok friends. Hit me up, DM me, send me a message on TikTok. And I agree, John, I appreciate you. And I agree that the TikTok audience might not be the right venue for this. So look at from devastation, what would it need to improve? What would it take that your partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend doesn't want to break up? What would it take that they don't want a divorce? What would it take for them? And what is causing them to want to maybe cheat on you? Okay. What is causing them to want to divorce you? What is causing them to not want to be with you any longer? A breakup, moving out. It's devastating. But you need to look at the foundations. I want people to do the work ahead of time before it comes to this. That's what I promote. I want you to be more proactive, people. Okay? And hey, Nicole, I appreciate you tuning in. And it is so tough. It's devastating, people. And that's where I look at, heartbreak is the worst. When your heart and soul get ripped out, it's the worst. But that's where I don't want people to be able to go after and lose their self-love and self-respect. I get people, but I love her, Greg. I love him, and I'll do anything possible to make it work. But their partner is not doing what they need to do to make the relationship or marriage improve. You know what? It's like, okay, you need to do all the work. I'm not going to do anything. That's not really promoting self-love and self-respect, okay? That's where I want people to understand about self-love and self-respect. You can love somebody. I want that. I absolutely. But is it reciprocated? Meaning, are they showing you they love you, desire you, they make you a priority, and the way it works for you? Nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is all on one person's terms, okay? Not at all. It's mutual. It's that ebb and flow. It's that give and take. But if one person is not willing to do the work, you need to be able to look at and say, is this relationship or marriage worth saving or worth being in? Looking at, what do I need? What do we both need that promotes loving one another, respecting one another, desiring one another, right? Showing each other that we actually appreciate one another and that we make each other a priority and important. Okay. And it's subjective, right? Every person, every relationship is different and what that looks like. So you need to be more specific and talk to your partner. What do you need? And I give a lot of couples, expectation, a sheet, right? What are your expectations? I give a true and false. It's like it looks like a test. It's not. But to be able to look at what are you really feeling to get to the root of the issues and what can be done to make it better, to improve it. So you're not in a devastating situation. But that doesn't mean that person is going to do their work or want to do their work to improve themselves being a better partner, right? And then you have to assess, is this really going to work for me or not? Or would I be healthier, happier outside of the relationship or marriage? Not an easy situation, not at all. And what is really bad is when the other does not even realize there is a problem. No, that's crucial. That's huge, right? They don't see their wrongs, or they do, but they don't admit them. A lot of people, they might not see their wrongs, Or they realize them, but they won't own them, right? They won't correct them, or they'll water them down, they'll justify them or condone. I did this because you made me. I did this because, instead of saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'll make sure it don't happen again. A lot of people will try to justify and not own what they do that is disrespectful, that causes devastation to each other or to their partner. And their partner is left feeling not loved, not respected, not important, not valued. Not a healthy, happy situation to be in. And if it doesn't change over term and they're not willing to do the work or get help and look at their actions, I tell people, then you're left with a situation. And ask your person, ask yourself, do they deserve my love? I'm not talking about you being arrogant, being entitled. No. But does that person I'm with, do they actually deserve my love? Do they actually deserve my attention? Do they deserve my affection? Do they deserve me making them a priority? Is that being reciprocated? And we all know it's not going to be 24/7. No, we have times where, people are taking care of a sick loved one or a loved one that's going into hospice. And you know what? You got to look at that's not real. That, well, you didn't make me feel important, desired, all this stuff. Well, I'm losing a loved one. There's got to be realistic expectations when it comes to that. Absolutely. Okay. So, no accountability, blame game, and basically saying the other's feelings are not valid. Right there, that is a huge red flag, right? As people know, couples that I work with, people I work with over the years, I'm huge on feelings, okay? Excuse me. Looking at, if they feel like your feelings are not valid or you shouldn't feel a certain way, you know what? That's going to be another red flag. Then why are you with someone that don't care about how they make you feel? Right? That doesn't mean it's, we can look at intent, right? But how they impact you needs to be important. I want to know if I'm making you feel disrespected. I want to know if I'm making you feel whatever, and can we heal it, right? What can be done to try to get better so you're not feeling the bad stuff, right? I want you to feel the good stuff. And that goes both ways, not one way, right? If I'm making your feelings feel valid and important, I want that. But I want that in return. If it's not happening, I'm going to bring it up, need to talk about it openly. And if they don't change and it doesn't improve, then you need to look at, is this relationship or marriage viable for me? Is it healthy for me to be in? Okay. I always think there are two sides. A partner needs to understand the reaction and feelings of the other person that needs to be discussed and explored. That is separate discussion. Absolutely, right? Discussion from apologizing and exploring how you hurt the other person and what they need as well. Both people need to feel heard. Absolutely, okay? So that's where I want people to be able to look at that ebb and flow. Hey, you know what I felt? I'm sorry I disrespected you. I'm sorry I made you feel, embarrassed or whatever it is. I'm sorry. I apologize for not making you feel like a priority lately. This is where to be able to look at, hey, you know what? I appreciate that. Thanks for apologizing, owning it. Thanks. I appreciate it. Now, hey, is there anything I did? Is there anything I'm doing to make you feel disrespected or maybe not making you feel like a priority or desired? That's what that ebb and flow. And Lisa, I appreciate that. And that's where I want people to understand and to be able to look at what is happening, that ebb and flow, that you care about how each other feels, okay? That's crucial. That is important. And that's where that reciprocation comes in as I trip over my tongue as I usually do, okay? So that's where I want you to be able to handle and look at and ask each other, what am I doing to make you feel miserable? What am I doing to make you want to cheat on me? What am I doing to make you feel whatever, that you want to divorce, that you want to break up, that you want to move out. Those type of situations, they need to happen. But you can do all that, and that person is still going to cheat. They're still going to want to leave, break up, whatever. And some people are just selfish. Some people are egocentric. Some people are, it's all about them and what they're getting. And they're not willing to reciprocate that to their partner. And that's very unhealthy. I promote that as being very unhealthy. Okay. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, YouTube, all over every social media platform under Love Guru Greg. Check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. I do have a few self-help courses that are very reasonable. They're cheap. They're helping, that can help you out. So check them out. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And as always, peace and love to everybody out there, okay? Take care, and I appreciate all the questions. Bye-bye. Peace and love, everybody.